Good morning, students. I am Riya Sinha, your assistant teacher. Today, we are going to continue our fifth chapter of geography, that is water. In this chapter, we have already discussed about water cycle, which is the process by which water continuously changes its form and circulates between oceans, atmosphere, and land. Then we have discussed some major sources of fresh water, which are the rivers, ponds, springs, and glaciers. We have also discussed in this chapter about the ocean bodies and seas which contain salty water. And then we have discussed about names of major oceans, that is, the largest one is Pacific Ocean, after that Atlantic Ocean, then Indian Ocean, and then the Southern Ocean, and the smallest one is Arctic Ocean. So all the ocean waters are saline because most of the salt, a large amount of salt is dissolved in it, and most of the salt is sodium chloride or the common table salt which we use to eat. Then we have discussed about distribution of water bodies, in which we came to know about that our Earth is surrounded. Our three-fourth part of the Earth's surface is covered by water, in which 97.3% is oceans, 2.0% is ice caps, then 0.68% is groundwater, 0.009% is freshwater lakes, then 0.009% inland seas and salt lakes, and 0.0019% is having water in the atmosphere, which is in the form of water vapor or moisture, and 0.001% is in rivers. Then in the last class we have discussed about ocean circulation, in which we came to know that uh, unlike ponds and lakes, ocean water keeps on moving continuously, so it never stays still. The movement that occur in ocean can be broadly categorized as waves, tides, and currents. And then we have discussed about waves, uh, in which we came to know that when the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternately, then they are called waves. As a result of huge tidal wave, we came to know that because of an earthquake or volcanic eruption or underwater landslide, which can shift large amount of ocean water, a huge tide wave can be formed, which may be as high as 15 meters, known as tsunami. And the last topic which we had discussed in the last class, tsunami, in which we came to know about the uh, har- harbor wave which is struck in the Indian Ocean on 26 December 2004. Today we are going to start our new topic, that is tide. The rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day is called a tide. Again, I am repeating it. Listen to me carefully and try to learn it. The rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day is called a tide. It is high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level, and it is low tide when water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore. So, the rhythmic rise and fall of the ocean water is called a tide. It is of two types, high tide and low tide. We can say it as high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. When the ocean water rise, rises to its highest level, and covers much of the shore, then it is known as high tide. And when water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore, then it is known as low tide. The strong gravitational pull exerted by the sun and the moon on the earth's surface causes the tides. This tide is caused by the strong gravitational pull exerted by the moon, or some for some extent by the sun also. So the water of the earth closer to the moon gets pulled under the influence of moon's gravitational force and causes high tide. During the full moon and new moon days, the sun, the moon, and the earth are in the same line and the tides are highest. Obviously, because of the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon, because they all are in the same line, so they used to attract ocean waters towards them. So these tides are called spring tides. But when the moon is in its first and last quarter, the ocean waters get drawn in diagonally opposite directions by the gravitational pull of sun and moon, resulting in low tides. And these tides are called neap tides. So high tides help in navigation, obviously, because they raise the water level close to the shores, and this helps the ship to arrive at the harbor more easily. The high tides also help in fishing, and many more fish come closer to the shore during the high tide. So this enables fishermen to get a plentiful catch. The rise and fall of water due to tides is being used to generate electricity in some places. Okay, now we will try to understand this topic in a better way. So let's start it. Tides. The seawater regularly rises upward and falls at regular intervals. This happens twice a day, approximately after every 12 hours. This rhythmic rise and fall of seawater at regular intervals is known as tide. The strong gravitational pull exerted by the sun and the moon on Earth's surface causes the tides. Sea tides. Sea tides are caused due to the attraction of moon and to some extent by the sun. The rise of sea water is called high tide, and the falling of sea water due to attraction of moon known as low tide. On a full moon day and a new moon day, the sun, the moon, and the earth are almost in a line. The sun and moon thus exerted a combined gravitational pull due to which the tides are at their highest level, and this is known as spring tides. Neap tide. On the half moon, the sun and the moon are at right angle to the earth's center, and the pull of the moon is partly cancelled by the pull of the sun, and as a result there is a low rise of water. This is known as neap tide. Now, uses of tides. They help in navigation and fishing. At high tide, the depth of the sea enables us fishing, and this enables the big ship to enter or leave the harbor. Tide of some places takes away the mud brought down by the rivers. Tidal water makes rivers suitable for navigation. Tides are also a major source of energy. Hope you all understood the covered topics well. Thank you. Have a nice day.